starting with the first activity of plan the next stage. Notice this is triggered by the fact that the current stage boundary is approaching. Producing the next stage plan, along with the other end stage activities, should be produced near as possible to the end of the current stage. And a reminder also that when you come to the end of the final stage within a PRINCE2 project, closure activities should be planned as part of the stage plan for that final stage. Let me say that in a different way. Imagine you're coming to the end of the penultimate stage and you're planning the very last stage plan. You would want to include in that very last stage plan not just the activities and resources and products for actually creating the specialist products of that final stage, but also the products, activities and resources and costs to actually close the project down using the closing a project process within PRINCE2. So what sort of information will we want to help plan the next stage? Well, we'll need to look at the project initiation documentation, of course. Now, part of the reason why we want to review the PID is to ensure that the various strategies are still appropriate, or do they need to be modified? Are they still suitable based on the state of the project thus far and its forecast future? Has the customer changed their quality expectations in any way, or have the acceptance criteria been modified as a result of formal change in the previous stage? It's highly likely that as the project goes through its various stages, that the project management team may need to be modified in some way. For example, if the next stage includes any products to be produced by a third party, it may well be that the senior supplier role need to be augmented with appropriate individuals from that third party. Now, when it comes to reviewing the project initiation documentation, you'd expect project assurance to be involved in reviewing it, and ultimately, of course, the project board approving it, but it's important to involve either corporate or program management in carrying out any such reviews. In a similar way, in terms of planning the next stage, using the issue and risk registers to see if there are any ongoing or new potential risks that should be taken into consideration when producing the next stage plan, and of course any lessons that have been logged up to this point that would helpfully need to be embedded within the next stage plan. Of particular importance, of course, is the project plan contained within the PID itself. This should be reviewed to understand exactly what products are required for the next stage. In the same way, the quality management strategy should be referenced for any particular quality standards or procedures that need to be used within the plan for the next stage. In terms of PRINCE2 principles, you can see that by virtue of planning the next stage and considering the roles and responsibilities and updating them meets this principle. We're of course meeting the manage by stages principle because of course this is the stage plan. We're focusing on the products because, as you'll see shortly, we will be using the product-based planning technique and looking at the quality responsibilities for creation of each of the products before considering the activities and resources needed to create them. And we'll be looking at the tailor to suit the environment of the project principle. You see, how PRINCE2 is to be tailored is contained within the PID itself, you will remember. And this may mean that the next stage may need to adapt or adopt this tailoring within the next stage plan. Okay, so the output here is the stage plan itself for the next stage. And we will use, as I've said several times now, the product-based planning technique. And as a result of using this technique, new product descriptions will be created for the next stage. Now, it may well be that within the project plan, within the PID, there were some initial or high-level product descriptions whose details could not be known until this point when planning the next stage, in which case some of the product descriptions may already exist, and at this point we would merely complete them so that they are full and accurate, ready to form part of the stage plan and hence project board approval. As a result of planning new products, then new configuration item records would need to be created, or, as I've said earlier, may be updated because we may have already captured them at a high level during project level planning. Or it may be as a result of progress of the previous stage products that now better data or information is known on any configuration item records. As a result of creating the next stage plan, the risk register with appropriate responses will need to be updated, along with any issues which may have been identified or modified as a result of planning the next stage in detail for the first time. Now, as a result of carrying out product-based planning and then going on to identify the activities needed for each of the products, that among them will include quality management activities and their scheduled dates. So the new planned dates of such activities will need to be added to the quality register. The quality register, of course, will be updated during the next stage with the actual dates